What's up, Duval Nation? It's your boy Zach. You can find me on Twitter at blind_side_73. That's another episode of Duval Against y'all. You know how it is, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about our schedule, and I'm going to give you my predictions of it. Even with certain news that have happened recently, I still pretty much stuck with my previous schedule predictions. There may be a little changes, but let's just get into it. But of course, like I said, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And then if you're on iTunes, give us an iTunes podcast review. It really helps us out on the channel and also helps you guys see it more often. More people see it more. Because if you like this, if you like the article, if you want to see some articles about this and watch all these videos on like one website instead of clicking through, make sure to check out the website. That's at toiletsandtiles.com. And then make sure to check out our sister network, which is at the CFB Nation for all the college football news. All right, so to start with, we got week 1. We got the Indianapolis Colts. I'm just going through this. I'm just going to do a little touching on everybody. I may in the future break it down a little bit more elaborate about why I think we'll win. But just for just okay. So week 1 is probably going to be Gardner Minshew starting. I know that hurts us. Minshew Magic was a good year for us, but then when he had his chance, unfortunately, he wasn't able to live up to it. And then we got Sunshine, which personally is a huge upgrade. No diss to him. I feel like Minshew is a decent quarterback, but I just feel like Anthony Richardson may come in a couple plays, but I don't think he'll start at this moment. So I see us winning that game. That's one win. Next on the schedule is it's Kansas City Chiefs. That game is going to be a lot because I feel like we had them in the playoffs. A lot of Kansas City fans don't admit it, but they would get nervous on that last drive before Agnew unfortunately fumbled. I personally believe we could have beaten them if that happened, but early in the season, I still think our pass rush may not be what it's supposed to be. So I feel the Chiefs still winning this game, but I feel like later in the season we may get them in the playoffs, and I feel like we can get them then. But that's for the future. And obviously I'm not going to go into playoff predictions, but I feel like if we lose to them again this year, if we get them in the playoffs, we'll beat them. So that makes us at 1-1. Next on our schedule is Houston. Houston still, I don't think they're going to be good yet. And I feel like they're a couple years down the line, so I feel like we easily beat them. I feel like if it won't be a close game like the first one was last year, the game that we lost. Even with Dameon Pierce, I don't think Houston has the weapons to beat Jacksonville early at all this year's here. I just don't think. I think Stroud could be good, but I just don't think he has a receiver to help him yet. And so I feel like we're just going to stuff the box and try to make him beat him. And I don't think he's at that level yet, even though I do personally think he's probably the best quarterback in this draft. I personally like him over Bryce Young because I feel like Bryce Young always had elite weapons. CJ Stroud did have Marvin Harrison Jr. in college, but I don't think the performances against Georgia, Bryce Young's versus CJ Stroud, I feel like CJ Stroud proved he was better. But that's just my personal opinion on that. But so that's another win. Next on the list is Atlanta. I don't feel like Atlanta's kind of going to be. They may be a surprise team, but this is also our first game in London after our 2 weeks in London. With us being there and done the London trip before, and Atlanta's not as used to it because they don't do it every year like we do. I feel like we can beat them. Do think Atlanta's defense is going to be a lot better this year, but I still think they don't have the corners to hang out with our offense. I feel like that's where a lot of these games are going to go to. Can the other opposing team's defense stop Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, Tank Beasley on our offense? And I feel like it's just going to be like we're just going to be outscoring people. I feel like our defense will be better, but I don't think like we still have a couple issues like our nickel. So I feel like a lot of elite receivers are going to go in the slot, and that may cause an issues. But I feel still like Atlanta doesn't have the team to do that yet. That's another win. And then the following week is our second game in London. So we're going to be staying over there for the 2 games. Buffalo will be in town. Buffalo won't be used to it because, again, they're coming that week. We've already been there for weeks, so I feel like the time clock and everything will help us win that game. We've beaten Buffalo before. I personally don't think Buffalo is as an elite team, which I know is an extremely hot take. As in when I'm not a huge fan of Josh Allen. I feel like he's kind of tries to play hero ball a little bit too much. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Stefan Diggs is upset like he is. So I'm not sure if we had the game, what was that, 2 years ago with the Josh Allen versus Josh Allen. Josh Allen took it, and our Josh Allen took it over. I feel like he could do it again. With Tyson Campbell, I think he's a good enough one. He can kind of slow down, lock up Diggs. And I don't think Gabe Davis is good enough to beat us, given Dalton Kincaid, who I personally wanted in the draft for us in Jacksonville, if Evan Ingram as like Evan Ingram insurance. But then with the trade down, Buffalo ended up getting him. I feel like he's going to be really good. But again, most tight ends don't do great the first year. It's like year 2 and 3 and 4 that they start dominating. So maybe we'll get lucky then. But I feel like this game will be close. But I still think we can pull this off and beat Buffalo. So that's another win for us. That puts us on a 3-game winning streak. But then unfortunately, I feel like the streak would end there because we're going to go play Indianapolis at home. I feel like what's really going to trip us up is we just spent 2 weeks in London, so the time zone difference, and then with everything else, and then you're just coming off a big win of beating a Super Bowl contender in Buffalo. I see us losing to the Colts in Week 6, but since we beat them, so that may end the streak, which I almost hope it doesn't. But I like this. I want the streak to keep going. But all streaks have to come to an end. I just having trouble beating anybody. It doesn't matter who was there after 2 weeks in London in a totally different time zone, and just everything being the jet lag and everything. I feel like it's just going to be too much. But that's the one I hope I'm wrong on. So that's our second loss of the year. And then we're going to go to New Orleans and play the Saints. The Saints, I feel like, are an interesting team. I feel like they should be just go a little bit above average, just because I don't think they're going to like a bottom fall out. I don't feel like they're too good for that. But, and then playing, in the Superdome used to be a big thing. I don't feel like it's as big of a hard place to play like it has been in years past. Like, I feel like Arrowhead's kind of taken over. I feel like Seattle's so crazier to play in. So I feel like we should win this game and get back on our winning track. Feel like their only really elite player they still have on the team is Kamara, and he's not as elite as he used to be. Just obviously because people are stacking the box. Mike Thomas is hurt all the time. Still after that 1 year, he's never been the same. So it's one of those teams where I was like, I feel like they may surprise the people, but I feel like we're better. We're a good enough organization, especially if we upgrade the pass rush. I feel like we could easily go through and beat New Orleans. Then we go at Pittsburgh. Not a fan of Kenny Pickett, which a lot of people like give him, which I feel like that year's draft class with him and Malik and everybody wasn't the greatest draft class. Kenny Pickett did have some moments where he looked great, but again, I think part of that is Tom Coughlin refuses not to have a losing season. So I feel like Mike Tomlin kind of showed him, was kind of hiding him more, so we'll have more know what to do. A lot of people are hyped up on George Pickens, their receiver that they drafted last year at the University of Georgia. As a Florida fan, this may sound unbiased, but every game I saw Pickens, I wasn't that impressed with. And then with his injuries that he kept having over the years, I personally don't think I think he could be good, but a lot of the hype that he's getting, I don't feel like he's up to anywhere near that level of hype that people are hyping him up, saying he's going to be Odell in this prime type situation. I don't personally see it. I may be wrong. But so I feel like Tyson Campbell and Darius Williams will lock him down. He won't. And then Deontay Johnson may go off on whoever's not covering Pickens, but I feel like our safeties are good enough to help over the top, and I feel like that's going to be his biggest thing would be deep shots. So that leaves us at the bye with 2 losses to the Colts the second time and then Kansas City. So I mean, going to the bye, that's a good streak. I feel like we should still be atop the divisions, considering I've lost 1 division game out of the 3 we played. So I feel like we're in the driver's seat of the division at this point. If you like this content, make sure to also check into our Patreon. That will help you get into some exclusive deals and stuff that we have going on throughout the Patreon. That's at patreon.com/toilets to titles. We have everything from ranging from $1.50 all the way to $20 a month. So like a subscription. So $150 is going to get you into our Gilded Chat channel and then into the Frankenstein Listener League. Then we have $3 that's going to have in-season waiver wire pick episodes. So like who should pick up during the season. I'm losing my league. How do I help this? It can be like this. $5 is going to help. You get both, and you get introduced to some free merch. I think everyone likes free stuff, so I feel like that's a really cool thing because like we're gonna start pushing out some cool ideas for y'all to check out. So make sure you check out and keep on the lookout for that. I'll also be posting that when that comes out. I'll be posting on my Twitter also. So if you're not sure about the episodes, you can always check on Twitter and they'll say when like the merch and like some of the options that we'll be putting out pretty soon. $7.50 we have one-on-one draft advice. So that way with your draft, who should you be looking for? We can help you a little bit with some mocks. So like, hey, this guy's usually falling most drafts. So if he's falling, make sure to try to pick him up. Like last year, a lot of people were like picking up Dameon Pierce. But then the issue is that he says are going up because everyone's getting him so early. But there's always, or Romeo Dubes. So there's always some guy that usually falls. So that will help us, that we can help you with that. And then, of course, our $20 tier, we'll have one-on-one roster analysis. And then 30-minute episode will help you we'll break down your draft. Like, hey, he got him. You got to be watching for this person in the league, or watch this person, or you don't have an issue with that. So just make sure to check all that out. Whatever you can do is much appreciated. Because we here at Toast Titles, we like helping you. We like interacting with community. So, and then if you have any suggestions or stuff you need help with, you can always reach out to me or Coach Cheps on Twitter, and we can talk to you about some stuff, and then especially with the Patreon or anything else. So just reach out or even comment below, and then we can help you with that too. All right, so going back to the schedule. So the week after our bye week, we have a very big game at home versus San Francisco 49ers. I am not looking forward to this game. I do not think we are at San Fran's level yet. Especially our pass rush. Our offensive line, I'm not really worried about that much. It's not like in years past when it's like, oh, our line's awful. I feel like we have enough pieces that we can kind of hold it together. And then with Trevor's mobility and his mobility scrambling and in the pocket, I feel like that's going to help us, but not in this game. I think the 49ers' D-line is just too great. Their defense is too good. They're probably the one team on our schedule that has the corners that can match up with all of our receiving talent. So I don't like this game. So I feel like we're going to lose that game. So it gives our losses up to 3 losses. Then next we got the Tennessee Titans. They've been talking a lot. Arden Key said he built Jacksonville. He felt disrespected. I feel like we're going to show them again that now this is our division now. Your time's over. Even with adding D-Hop, I don't feel like it's enough for them to beat us. One thing I found very interesting about D-Hop is if you compare D-Hop's numbers, given it was suspension-based, it was a little bit different, to Julio's numbers right before they signed, they're eerily similar. I'm not saying he's going to be as bad, but like the closeness it's really interesting. I personally felt like the best option for the Titans would be to rebuild, but they're trying to go all in again, which, God bless them, I just don't think it's enough for them to beat us. So next on there, so that's another win. Then we have Houston again. I feel like CJ Stroud's going to be in his own more. So it's going to be a closer game than it was early in the season, but I still think we beat Houston. Again, they don't have the corners to match up, or they have one, but they don't have. But he has to pick Ridley or Kirk, and I feel like Ridley's going to be tearing it up all year. And so even if they put the kid from LSU, number 5, I'm blanking on his name at the moment, but even if put on one, they say the other corner is going to have to deal with whoever's not there. So I still think we beat them. That's a win. Then we go to Cincinnati on Monday Night Football. That one's going to be close. I mean, because I feel like Cincinnati and us are very similar players. We have an elite quarterback, Burrow and Trevor. We have elite corner or receiver and core trio. And then versus with Chase and Higgins and Boyd, our elite trios more, including Ingram. It'd be more 4, but if you're just going straight receivers, it'd be Ridley, Kirk, and Zay Jones. So that's about even. Or if you don't knock out Zay and put Evan Ingram in, it's still kind of about even. So I feel like this game would be a shootout. And both of them are, both Trevor and Burrow showed it more, has showed a little more, but Trevor's showing that he can be clutch also with all the comebacks from last year. So I feel like this game is going to be a game that goes to the wire. But I feel like it's just like last time we matched up. I feel like Joe Burrow's going to get the win against us in a close game, but I just don't think we have the pass rush to deal with Burrow. If we add another pass rusher, this is one of the games I'd flip. But right now with just Walker and Allen, basically, I don't think it's enough for some of these elite quarterbacks we'll be playing. So that's another loss. That's our 4th loss. Then we go to Cleveland. We're beating Cleveland. I feel like we can beat Cleveland. I mean, yes, Myles Garrett can wreck our game plan, but at this point, I feel like either this is so late in the season that Walter Little should be starting at guard if we didn't trade Cam Robinson. And I feel like Walter Little is a better offensive tackle than Cam Robinson. So I feel like he's not going to shut down Garrett, but I think he can slow him down just because he shut down Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Myles Garrett's a different animal. So I feel like he's going to beat them. I feel like he may disrupt it, but I just don't think Cleveland's offense is going to be good enough. A lot of people like this is going to be another year for Deshaun if we're used to it. But even near the end of the year, Deshaun did not look the same. Which it's a good thing. Let's just say, as a quarterback, strictly on that field, he was good. He has been elite in the past. Not going into all the off the field issues that he's had, but with that, I feel like that's enough. I feel like he could keep it close, but I don't think with just Nick Chubb, with Kareem Hunt gone, they don't have the 2-headed monster anymore. So, but Nick Chubb can beat us by himself, so we got to be worried about him on offense, and then Garrett on defense. But I still think we have enough of a well-rounded team around us that we could beat them without it. So that's another win. Then we have the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. This game I have a coin flip 50-50 on because we do usually play the Ravens good. The last few times, I mean, we've blown them out before. We've been on a game in field goals. I feel like it's just the history of Jacksonville versus Baltimore. It's always been a close game. I mean, there's been those Thursday night games that were just field goals on both squads in the past. So I feel like this is going to be good. Even with the improved offense and weaponry that Lamar has, I feel like they could help. The only issue is this late in the season, this is when a lot of the players are going to be dinged up. Like I feel like Odell's going to be dinged up at this time. Lamar might be dinged up at this time. The running backs might be. Bateman's always dinged up near the end of the year. So I feel like it's going to be a close game no matter what. But I still feel us pulling out and getting the win. Like I've said before, we always play the Ravens tough. So I feel like this could be a good game for us. Next, we got Tampa. Tampa should be an easy win. They're probably at this point be tanking with either Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield our starting quarterback. I like Kyle Trask coming out. Obviously, Florida fan, I felt like he was probably the best quarterback we'd had in a while. Just the issue with that, he learned from Brady for years. I feel like he should be the starter more over Baker, just because you got to see what you have at this point. And I feel like the issue with Baker is that Baker would win you enough, not enough to be good, but not enough to be bad. So you're not enough going to have a great draft pick. I feel like, and it's so late in the season. So even if Baker started early, I feel like the lose season happened. So they may start trash, see what they have. Though if they don't trash isn't the answer, then go draft a quarterback in the draft and then go from there. So I feel like we'll be good there. And then we have home against Carolina. That's another win. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Bryce Young. He may surprise me. I just don't think he'll be late elite early. And just like with CJ, he doesn't have the elite weapons anymore. He has a DJ Chark who's deemed up, and he has an older Adam Thielen as basically his number 1 and 2 receivers. I just don't feel like that's enough. I feel like DJ might try to show off for us. Kind of like he let me go. But I feel like the year for do that would have been last year when we played him in Detroit. And he had a couple plays, but he wasn't the DJ Chark that we had like during his Pro Bowl year with Minshew. So I feel like that can have an effect. But I still think we should get a win. And now the last game of the season is we're playing the Titans at Tennessee this year. This game, I think it turns down to a couple things. If we are already locked up our seed, I feel like we will lose this game. I feel like we will just play the backups. Because I feel like the Titans are going to be average. I think Vrabel's a good coach, but I still don't think this is the right approach to go with all these older veterans, because you're basically going all in on this year or maybe next year, and and I don't think they're good enough to win a Super Bowl this year or next year. And now then you're kind of out of luck. I mean, D-Hop's getting up there, Derrick Henry's getting up there, Ryan Tannehill's up there. They may play Levis or Malik Willis, but even then, at this point, I feel like that should have been your conversation early. I still personally believe D-Hop just went for the money instead of the winning, because I feel like if he's trying to win, you go to like a Buffalo or Kansas City and go from there. But again, I'm not going to count anybody's pockets. He made his decision, his choice, but I just don't feel like if it's a game we have to win to keep the playoffs alive or something like last year, I think we win it. But if it turns into we've already clinched our seed, the second seed or the third seed or whatever it is, and there's nothing for us to really play for, then I can see us Titans blowing us out, because it's like doesn't matter. So for the final predictions, the final tally, I feel like we can either go 13-4 if we need the Titans to, like, if we need to beat the Titans to stay our position, or we'll go 12-5 if we were locked up our seeding and it doesn't matter. But those are just my 2 predictions. I may be wrong, maybe right. There are a few games in there, like I said, it's like, I don't know if we should beat them, but I don't know. But like I said, 13-5, 12-5, that's one of the best years we've had in years. So either I will take either one of those. But I mean, like I said, we in Jacksonville, we know fame. We had the 1-15, we had the 2-14 years. So this is back to where it should be. I feel like this is a team that can compete for the future, as long as we lock up a few pieces for the future. But that's my pick. So I'll see y'all next week. And Duval.
What's up, Title Tribe? We appreciate you watching the show. If you want to catch up on all of our college football content, make sure you subscribe to the CFB Nation by clicking their link below. Make sure you subscribe to the Toilets Titles Podcast Network by clicking our link below. And make sure to catch our other content by watching these videos to the side.